You're still watching Breakfast Daily on City TV. Hashtag Breakfast Daily. Let us know your thoughts on everything you're watching today on the show. It's a fantastic Friday, and it's going to get even better because we're about to talk about relationships. Something everyone can relate to, right? It's in the name. Relationships. Anyway, I'm here with Marie Rose Saki, a familiar face to those of you who watch Breakfast Daily, and a pleasure to meet you, Marie Rose.
Pleasure to meet you too, Jifa.
Thank you for bringing us this morning. I know it's okay. You'll get used to it. It's so good.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure that will happen quite a lot. Okay, well, we've got an interesting topic for today. I actually love this one. Now, for those of you who follow a bit of international entertainment news, you know Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez is a huge global superstar, and she's had a few relationships, you know, and it looks like she's on good terms with many of her exes. But there's one ex in particular that it looks like she's gone back to. Now, Ben Affleck was her serious boyfriend. I think at a point they were even engaged to be married. Then they broke up, and everybody thought, oh, what happened? They used to call them Benifer, you know. And then she started dating this huge former baseball player called A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez. They were going to get married. And then next thing we heard, they broke up. As soon as they broke up, we see J-Lo back in the arms of Ben Affleck, and the whole world is shocked. Like, hey, what happened? And how come she was able to go back to him so quickly? Hey, Marie Rose, why you do? What's going on? So we want to find out from you today about going back to an ex.
Yes.
We'll have all the questions, whether it's advisable, whether it's a total no-no, or whether it's something you could consider maybe and then make a decision. So welcome again.
Thank you.
Let's chat.
Thank you. I like your intro. It makes it easier with J-Lo, yeah. You know these American celebrities, you know how their life is. But yes, it's not a no-no going back to your ex. It's not a no-no.
Okay.
There's a possibility.
All right.
People have married, divorced, and come back. And people have been in just relationship, broken up, and they come back. But the only thing is that the statistics shows that not too many go back. Some research shows that about 70% do not go back. Okay. About 15% go back. But when they go back, unfortunately, about 14% break up again. So those are there's statistics I read that some people had married and broken up and married and broken up maybe 2-3 times, and then finally they go their separate ways. Why? Which we will know. Sometimes it's because people go back to their old ways. You know, once you come back together, the honeymooning, and then you forget yourself. Then you go back to the old patterns. So for you not to find yourself in that situation, if you want to go back, if your breaking point, because you are all broken. When you break a relationship, whoever that broke it will also be broken. So both of you are broken. Okay. Yes, one may be hurt more than the other, but still, once you've had a relationship with somebody, you have that connection, which might not be easy for even whoever that is initiating it for whatever reason. So if the relationship was broken on not a bad note, but maybe sometimes a relationship would have to end because one is far away and things are not working, transatlantic, trans-Pacific, wherever, and then you have to get to a point you have to let go. Right. Others is because of maybe personality clash and stuff like that. Then we have other little things, maybe your family. They are not accepting the relationship. It's not because you don't love the person, but because your family are really against it, and you have to let go. So in that case, when that situation changes and the person is still available, yes, why not? You could work it out. And then we have the bad blood ones that were maybe cheating and fighting and quarrels and money issues and all that ends up in a lot of some people break up and they don't even talk again. Even when they have kids. It happens. So I would say the first thing is that when you want to go back, if you've been in a broken relationship, now you have to get wholeness. So you are broken, you want to get wholeness. So you have to get yourself together. You have to find yourself first. first important thing is to find yourself. Sit back, reflect, get a break from the person, get a total break. No matter how painful and hurtful it might be, you have to just stay away and find yourself. Be yourself again, find who you are, and see if you really want to go into it. If you really want to go into it, then now you have to have a mental change, a mental focus, a mental shift. Think again, are you ready to take this, that, what really caused that relationship? How are you going to do it? So you have to mental shift that things are not going to be the same again. We've loved when you love somebody innocently, right from the beginning, when you don't know and you meet and the blah, blah, blah. And like even a friend, you have a friend and then you move, everything is nice. Once you've had one quarrel with your friend or an issue with your friend and you come back together, it's not the same again.
It's not the same, you're right.
It's not the same again. It could be better or it could be worse, depending on how you manage it.
I like that perspective.
Yes.
But is it possible, Mary Rose, for people to change? The reason you break up with someone and the person becomes your ex is because either they did something or you did something, caused the break. How feasible is it? How realistic is it for people to actually change, even if they do the work on themselves that needs to be done?
In actual fact, people change. We are dynamic. We change. We could change for good or for bad. We change. But then that is the reason why you have to have that mental shift and know that he might not change or she might not change or they might not change exactly the way you want to. So now the third point I'll talk about is you have to identify what caused your break before you can even decide that I'm going back. If you don't identify and deal with it, it's like, well, Yaren, so you don't know the solution to your trouble, So you have to identify your problem.
Okay.
What broke up your relationship? Is it fixable or it's not fixable? If it's fixable, yes. Was it because you lost attraction to each other? Did you lose your connectedness? Or because of mistrust? What happened? These are some of the things that can cause relationship breakup. So when you look at these things and you identify what the problem was, now you look at it, is it solvable? Is it fixable? Can you live with it? Can you do something about it? And so when you go back, when you have had your break, and both of you realize that you want each other and you have had that mental shift, you sit down and talk about it. What went wrong?
Okay.
How are we fixing it?
All right.
Yes.
Do you need to seek outside help to figure out what went wrong? Or is it something that you think can be solved within between the two people?
There's once an elderly person.
In front of you?
Yes. Sometimes when it is very, very messy or when it is it's not that straightforward and you think you can't handle it, I think you can call in somebody. But first of all, you have to try to do it yourself. One elderly person once advised me that when you marry and every time you want people to come into your matter, or when you're in a relationship and every time you want people to solve your problem, it never ends. Because the least thing you go and complain, the least thing you go and complain, you have to learn to solve it between the two of you. If you have issue, find a good time, look for the good tone, put yourself together, take in a deep breath and talk about it. Talk about it until you can solve it. If you're talking about it and it's not working and you're going to a third person, then I think you should forget about each other. If you want to come back and you need a third person, then you should forget about it and go look for new people to get together with. Because but sometimes, in our local setting, many times people, especially marriages, then your parent or the family, they'll go and beg or something, then they go and it happens again, like I say, then the thing happens again. So they take them and then they come back, they take them. So it's in and out and in and so you end up not really getting fulfilled in the relationship. You might be in the marriage or the relationship, but you might not really be fulfilled or be very happy as you should. But then there's something they say now, say, you take it like that.
Okay.
You take it like that. You don't like it, but you're taking it like that. Yes. So sometimes you might not really, if you are doing that kind of bringing third people in, but when the two of you have been able to solve your problem, you're on the same level. You have been able to find your level ground and then you jump into it. Okay. So some of the things you look at when you come together, when you have been able to decide that we want to go forward, there must be some kind of remorse.
Okay, let's backtrack a bit. What if one side, so maybe you, the woman, you miss your ex, you think you made a mistake breaking up with him. Perhaps you haven't discussed this with him, but you want to approach the issue. How do you even go about doing that? Because for all you know, he's not interested at all. You're the one, it's maybe a one-sided thing. So how do you approach your ex if you are having certain feelings or certain thoughts of reconnecting, reuniting, but you're not sure if it will be reciprocated?
So when you break up from a relationship, and definitely, like I said, both of you are hurting. Even the guy, whoever that has gone, maybe might have gone on even to get somebody else, or is in a fallow area waiting, whatever, would still be thinking about you. Take that from me, that even 100 years, you can move on with your life. You will still remember that you had a relationship with this, but that never goes away. That never goes away. So that thing will be there. But then, if one side feels more attracted or want together and you are missing the person more, they have to look out for certain signs, whether it's worth your effort. Did the person, are you still in contact? Does the person still look out for you, checking on you, stalking you small? You can see sometimes they'll be stalking you. Now the social media, they'll be looking around and all that. You have to see how he tries to relate to your people, your friends, your family, if they know your family. Some people, they break up with you and they still want to have a relationship with their family. Now that tells you that the person has some kind of, so you have to look out for certain things. But if you break up with somebody who comes back, even the chalote that he gave you, he's come for, or that gift she gave you, she's come for her, she comes for her things, and then now he's blocked you off all, he doesn't call you, nothing. Then no matter how you close your mind to it, forget about them. It's gone. It's gone.
Wow.
If the person has moved on, if the person has moved on and with somebody else, leave them.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
Okay.
Let it go. Unless, of course, sometimes it happens that they might even go their separate ways, go into relationship and break again and come together.
Come back.
I know people like
who
have done that.
Okay. What if you're given a condition? So you want to get back with your ex. Your ex might be open to the idea, but they say, you know what? I will give it a try if you change this or if you do that. So it comes with some kind of condition or ultimatum. How do you approach that? Is it worth it to say, you know what, I want you back, so I'm willing to change this, even if it's something that maybe you don't really believe in, but you're willing to do that for that person? Is that advisable?
Sometimes, like, that's what I was going to say about the fact that people say, I'm sorry, and they don't mean it. There must be proper remorse. It's not, I'm sorry. When you are sorry, it means you're not doing it again. When you mean it, I hurt you, I said something you don't like. I am so sorry. I will not do that again. So it will not be repeated. But if you see the person say, I'm sorry, and it's just for saying, I'm sorry, sake, it is not going anywhere. It's not going to bring a change in the person, and it means that you are going to repeat the same things. He will do the hurtful things that will make you react the same way. If you are not sure about the change, don't go. Don't go. As hurtful as it is, don't go. After a long while, I mean, when you wait and wait, you get over it. You get over it. It can be painful. You cry all the cry you have to cry, and separate yourself. Here in Ghana, we don't move around a lot, but then because of job security and all that kind of thing. But if you are in the Western world where people can just change states,
it's true,
or change towns and all that to cut you out of their life. They don't see you. And then out of sight, out of mind, you go. So if the person is remorseful and he has asked for forgiveness and all that, you have to look for responsibility. He has to be responsible for the new things that are coming. That's why I said you have to sit down, discuss. This is what we are going to do. The ways, maybe it's because of addiction. I didn't talk about it. Sometimes some people are addicted to all sorts of things, and when they do their things and they become aggressive and beating, abuse, and all those kind of things, why would you go back to an abusive relationship? So you have to look at some of all these things. If that is not worth following, there's some people, and I'll boom me, it's not call back, I'll boom me, not call back. Why? Because me don't know. Love has some sense. Love has a mind of its own.
Love doesn't hurt.
Yes. So you have to know where you belong, and then so that because it can go back into marriage. Like I said, a very good friend of mine, they broke up. Then they married. They've been together.
Very quickly before we go, if there are children involved, how do you navigate that, especially maybe informing the kids that it could be a possibility that you get back with an ex?
Yes, if there are kids involved or children involved, sometimes even the children can work it, can make it such that you come back together because of the relationship. Maybe the children could be an aid, and sometimes some children might not even want it. So where you want to come back, I think it is quite easy when you have children together, because when you have children together and you are broken or you are divorced or something, you will forever deal with that person because you have children. You come together, graduation, you come together, marriage, weddings, outdoorings, whatever. You have to talk for their active. If they're very young, you have to be seeing each other. So you have to really restrict yourself. So I think that you have to just be civil, know what is good for you. Number one is find yourself, be confident, be mentally ready to take up the new challenge. And marry happily ever after, if you can contain it.
Thank you so much, Marie Rose.
You're welcome.
Relationships, going back to your ex, if you're thinking about it, you've heard the expert advice. Think and think carefully and work on yourself, on yourself first. Thank you so much, Marie Rose.
You're welcome.
Lovely to meet you. See you again next week.